Retinal Circus, the Retinal Circus at bandcamp.com. .bandcamp.com. Oh, I never get this right. I used to have Shades Movement with the Comet as my MySpace, and that just provide, you know, it's like you just go to change your MySpace name, and then you can't change it back. And I changed it to Shades Movement with the Comet. And I had to plug that at gigs because I had no other way of getting being able to plug anything. But it's www.theretinalcircus.bandcamp.com. But you just type in Retinal Circus and Bandcamp, you get me. You used to be able to just type in the Retinal Circus and I'll come up. But this guy, even Dando, he recently did
That's funny.
he did this show called the Retinal Circus.
Oh no!
Basically, as well as it being the Tibetan Book of the Dead, you know, the psychedelic experience by Timothy Leary. There's also a nightclub in San Diego or something like that.
Really?
Or Los Angeles.
Gonna go
like
gig
that.
over there.
So it was a nightclub in the 60s, and those nights were called the Retinal Circus. So he did a show that embodied that, because it was like a multimedia kind of evening. And he did that, and then he released it on DVD, he did an album, did this, did that, put it on YouTube. So that's just completely swampy, you know. This guy's massive. So he's like, I kind of felt like tweeting him and pecking him.
Exactly. Don't blame him. How dare he do that?
He's the giant that stepped on you.
Yeah. In a way, it's kind of ironic. But it also got SoundCloud and a Facebook, of course. So SoundCloud, Facebook, Bandcamp.
Plenty of places to check Craig, eh? What about influences? What are your influences? Who have influenced you? I'd imagine quite a few.
Quite a lot of different things. Sort of your obvious stuff, I suppose, like, you know, the sort of staple, like, things that people say are their influences, and they're not. They're really obscure, but they say, like, the Beatles and Hendrix and Donovan, you know, or the Beach Boys, you know, or something like that. And then, like, that kind of goes without saying, doesn't it? You know, like, I like Pink Floyd, I like Syd Barrett, I like that kind of idiosyncratic songwriting. Like, I like people like Vivian Stanshall out of Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. You know, I like Jeff Buckley because I like the way he sings. But I like Robert Plant the way he sings as well. Also like Zeppelin. And then there's stuff like Zappa, King Crimson, like some prog. I'm not massively into prog. Like some of it, I just think it's just absolute. Like, it's just nonsense. Like, it's just self-indulgent rubbish. But some of it. The self-indulgent rubbish is justified, you know. Shoegaze bands as well from the 90s. Like all kinds of stuff like, I suppose, Swerve Driver. Maybe a bit of Catherine Wheel from that sort of era. But a band called Waterline Drift, actually, from San Diego. Completely changed like the way I looked at like writing songs. And this kind of trying to make everything a little bit epic, but through like different chord sequences, like not just verse, chorus, verse. Although like I think most of what I've played so far has been kind of verse, chorus, but it's not really an example of the idiosyncratic way of writing. But I like stuff that's not just like verse, chorus, verse, or like verse, bridge, chorus. You know, anybody who does that, like they do like stuff that's a little bit different. Or if they put certain hooks in, you know, nice counterpoints. Like I noticed that. Listen to a lot of classical music I used to. Like, I suppose like just people who just aren't. You can't categorise them. Like example, the Cardiacs as well. It's got Tim Smith out of the Cardiacs. It's like basically like a punk Beethoven. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like. Just like almost like he was born to be in like courts and things, doing really strange movements like major to minor, and making like quite fanfare music. But he was born at the wrong time and ended up in a punk band in Islington. You know.
Would you like to do an album?
I've done quite a lot. Album-wise, I've never seemed to get anything finished. Like I always end up just bunging it on an EP or something. And like I've recorded quite a lot since last year. Like since September, I've recorded quite a lot of stuff. But I'm happy with some of it. Some of it I want to change. And then the stuff I've done in 2010, and like, I was happy with it at the time. I listen to it back now, and like, I go, no, I'm not happy with that. I like, don't want to release that yet. I want to work on it a bit better. But like, there's some stuff, you know, like there's some stuff with like Becky Rose. I've done quite a few things with her. One of the most recent things we did was got her in singing like 7-part harmonies.
Wow.
Like 7-part kind of choral section.
Yeah.
You know, like a bit like the Tim Burton films.
Yes.
Like Danny Elfman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just washes of sound and like made up this thing called an omnichord, which is
right.
like it's like pretty impossible to explain. It's like a Fisher Price toy with a touch plate.
Yeah.
And then like chords like you get with kids' toys where you automatically got chords. You got like major, minor, sevenths.
Yeah.
I wrote this really quite strange chord sequence in all majors and minors.
Yeah.
All major to minor. And then it drops into a different key at the end as well. But I wrote this really quite strange chord progression. Just sounded good to my ears, and it was like, oh, that's nice. Just put it through some delay, and made like a rough version of it with David Headon.
Yeah, he's been
he played on it as well.
Yeah.
And then we sent it to Becky Rose, and I just said, can you take these omnichord bits and all the backing vocal like little chord bits I put on as guidelines? Can you take those ghost harmonies, and turn it into a section? So she did me a 3-piece bit at first, and she said, I'm happy to do anything else you might want, and that was really quite soul singing, the first 3 things she gave it. Like, this just shows you like the scale of like attention to detail we put in, and then she sent me it back like with a piano part as well, and then I said, it's not quite what I'm looking for, you give me some oohs and ahs, and she said, I can do you some oohs and ahs, that's no problem. It might take me a week or so. I'm just like, I'm asking you to do something. Okay, so like she sent them back, and then David Headon put them all together. So I'd never even heard them all together. Right. And David Headon put them on his computer, put it on with the rest of the track. And we've ended up with like about 72 tracks of live audio, like string section, like omnichord, guitar. There's like a kind of fretless bass on it as well, left-handed fretless bass that Dave played, percussion, layers of percussion, all the vocals, my vocals, ebos as well, which is sustained like feedback. It's like massive of sound, and it's just like a little bit overkill because you listen to it and you're like a bit like, how did that work? And then thought about it's a great idea, where it's probably something I should promote actually. We're going to try and do a mix that you can mix yourself. Like it's going to be in it's going to be in like a certain programming code. So you get like all these dials. So you can just basically change the EQ, put effects on it, and what have you. You can isolate the submixes. What we've done, like so, we do a submix of like just the vocals on one side, like Becky's vocals, my vocals, and then like omnichord, John Joe's fiddles, like everything else we put on it. Like we just have it all as submixes, and then people can make their own little mix and then bounce it straight down to a file. And then like they have a license to do what they want with it. Wow. So then they just pay for it like once off. And then they just get to do it. And then you won't get bootlegged that way as well. It's like you're giving people like the option to just remix it if they want to. And they can do like a basic remix, taking the tracks.
Is there any local artists you'd like to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
Yeah, quite a few. Yeah, for sure. There's always people I want to work with. I just don't know actually if it'll work. But,
who like?
Well, I kind of respect. I do respect like This Wicked Up. I like what they do. It's not the sort of music I'd make. But I'd like to do something with them at some point. Like just like a little studio collaboration or something. That'd be quite fun. Especially like Rob, who's a really damn good bassist. Tina's got a really nice. She's got a different vocal to other girls. Like it's like there's different flavours of different vocals. There's quite a few people they work with. Like there's Baba Jack. I was going to work with them at one point.
Oh, cool.
Didn't quite do it. But slowly get in there, like ticking off people I want to work with. But locally, I don't know. Like so much is just like want to work with ridiculous amount of people. Like a lot of people I want to work with. There's a lot of people I regularly do stuff with, like John, Ed Steele Fox as well. Like he's like a really good drummer, percussionist. David Headon's alright to work with. Like once we get down to actually.
Does he still do his back sessions on the floor?
He came up here.
Yes. Yeah, he came up here and he disappeared under the desk. Where's he gone? He's like stretching out for the back. He gave me some back exercises I never kept to, did I?
No.
Sorry about that, David, but I forgot. That's probably why I suffer. Right, time for another.
If you watch that, then he knows. But basically there's just too many people to work with. The whole
Yeah.
point of the Retinal Circus was to collaborate with as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And that's where the whole composing aspect comes in it to me, like, because if I can just get my head around, like, I'm pretty nervous playing keyboard,
Yeah.
but I can write melody lines really quite quickly.
Yeah.
Like, on anything I try to pick up, except
Yeah.
for things like fiddles, like saxophones, or like, you
Yeah.
know, just like, I think, basically I see music as like, it's musical fidgeting,
Yeah.
and you show it to somebody, and it gives it some kind of worth,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
or maybe it doesn't have any worth, it's like completely personal, isn't it?
Yeah.
But sometimes it just universally translates, and
Yeah.
people just kind of dig what you're doing, regardless of where you are.
Yeah.
You feel confident enough, and you come
Exactly.
across it sincerely. Like,
Yeah.
I can kind of appreciate anybody giving it a go, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, you know.
There might be someone listening right now, musician. If you want to chat to Craig,
I have to wait till they come out.
Yeah.
you can pick the phone up, press the blue hospital radio button, gets you through to us here at the studio. Question for Craig. Time for another song, Craig? What are you going to do this time?
Yeah, interesting question. Not really thought about it.
Yeah. I love the way we get all these people here with like type sheets and exactly what they're going to do. I just like the randomness here.
Well, I'll give it a go. I'll do something because I don't know what's going to offend Dave.
Oh, don't worry about him. I don't care about him. Go on.
Riverside.
Yeah, we don't listen.
This one kind of goes down well.
Yeah.
I don't know if it really does.
Yeah.